that mean? Discuss that with your group. Hopefully you've got something to say about it, okay? Saying we already know this, and tell me what you already know. What do you already know, Evan? That is called slope-intercept form of a line. Anything else that you said you know about this equation? Somebody different. B is the y-intercept. Give me something else that you know about this equation. M stands for slope. Anything else that you want to tell me about this equation? Sorry, I lost my word. No? Okay, together. All right. So I need you to have with one highlighter color. Okay, it says this with your group, highlight the commonalities in the same color. Label the axes on the graph and discuss what the commonalities mean in terms of y equals mx plus b. We'll discuss the first one together. Okay, so what does that mean? That means take one highlighter. Okay. And I'm going to read the story. A medium cup of ice cream costs $4.50. Each additional topping is 50 cents. How much will you pay for 4 toppings? So I'm going to highlight $4.50. Okay, so with just one color on your own paper, highlight $4.50. Now I want you to highlight $4.50 everywhere on every different representation. Okay, so I see it here. Where do you see it on the table? The first row. And what about on the graph?
That first dot right there.
That first dot. So I need to label these axes on the graph. All right. What does that mean? That means I need to say what it stands for, right? So looking at this graph, since that dot you're telling me is 4.5, what is that 4.5? But what are these? 4.5 what? Dollars. So cost, dollars, something like that. Okay. What would be the label down here? What are these? Toppings. Bless you. Okay. All right. Now take a different highlighter, and so if you don't have a different one, just trade with your neighbor. Okay. You should have a different color. All right. And now we have another number in our story. What is it? 50 cents. Each additional topping is 50 cents. Where do I see that in the equation? Right there. Where do you see it on the table?
$5 and $5 because it's $4.50 plus 50 cents.
Ah, so you mean I have to show it?
Yeah.
It was plus 50 cents here, plus 50 cents here for what? Each. It's 50 cents per what? Topping. Okay, so there's my 50 cents. All right. And then how about over here on the graph? How am I going to show that on the graph? For what now? Okay. How do I show that on the graph though? There you go. Right, I heard it. Rise over run. It went from, to get to this next dot, it went up to $5 and over here. So that's really hard to see on my little bitty graph. And then again, it went up 50 cents and over 1. So, oops, I'll do that. So that's where the 50 cents is there. Okay? So now, the final thing I want you to do, it says in the directions, it says to discuss what those commonalities mean in terms of y equals mx plus b. Okay? So the yellow one, which is the 450 for me, would stand for what? On every single one of these, what does the yellow stand for? The y-intercept. Or give me another word for that. It is the y-intercept, but it's also the... I thought you were going to say it. No. Oh yeah, base fee. It's like the starting point, right? Because first we had to just get that ice cream for $4.50. So it's our starting point or our y-intercept. And then what is 0.50? What is that?
That's a slope.
That's the slope. And what does it mean?
That's how it rises per topic.
Exactly, per topping. Okay, so let's see what I put underneath here. Okay, I said that 450 is the starting point, 50 cents is the rate of change or slope. So you'll want to write that down. I have a little phrase in the center right there for you. Okay, notice you need it highlighted. Guys, you need highlighters. Okay, this is a thing, not just underlining. Okay. Do you see how you can find that slope in all of the different representations? You can see it in a story. You can see it in an equation. You can see it on the table and the graph. Do you guys see that? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what this week is called. When you look on the calendar and it says multiple representations, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about y equals mx plus b in all the different forms. Okay. Last year, if you'll recall, those of you that were with us last year, we spent time doing y equals mx plus b just from a table. Then we spent time doing it just from a graph. Then just from a story. Do you see what I'm saying? Well, we already know how to do that. So today we're starting with wrapping it all together. Okay, we're not really spending a lot of time on how to find it from each of these ways we're reviewing. Okay, so now what you're going to do, put that packet to the side. I'm going to give you another packet. Okay, between you and a partner. Okay, so you're each pair of people. Okay, you're going to do the same activity with this packet. Okay, so you're going to work through the whole thing, highlighting and writing the sentence just like we did together. All right, and then we're going to go over it together. Does everybody understand? So you're not doing anything in the packet that you already have. You're now switching to this packet. Okay, if you're at home, pause the video. Okay, let's go over the answers. So look on the first page. You should have gotten that it was $50 was the starting point or y-intercept and $4.50 was the slope. Did y'all get that? So all we're going to do right now is check. You have a little sentence written right in here. I have mine big on the side so y'all can see. Okay. Does anybody need help on how to find that? Like, what about this table? Did you see that the change was $13.50 here? And then it was 3 over here. But on a table, remember, it's change in y over change in x. So that's where I got 13.50 over 3, which is 4.50. Is that what you're talking about? You kind of forgot how to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that more clear now? You were able to get there? And then here, between the 2 points, it was 13.50 going up, 3 going over, your rise over run. Were you able to get there from that? Come on, guys, talk to me. Yes or no? Are we good? Okay, let's look at the next one. You should have gotten that 25 was your starting point or y-intercept and 5 was the constant rate of change. Did you see that you had to do the same thing here? It went up 20 on the y, 4 on the x, so 20 over 4 is 5. Yes, no? Okay, so now I know what was taking so long. Okay, it's more clear to me. I was wondering what was, okay. Now, I also said, how else could we word this on this way? One pair of Crocs is $25 and then each letter term is $5. And I said 25 was the starting point or y-intercept and 5 was the constant rate of change. Is there another way you think that we could word that? No? You had to get the shoes plus the charms, something like that. I don't know. Let's look at the next one. 250 was your starting point and then negative 50 cents, right? Did you guys see how to do it? Said it was -1 here, but it was a +2. So -1 over 2 would be negative 0.5. Yeah, are you guys seeing that? Okay. Are there any that you don't see? Did you also notice that the graph, what's happening to the graph? It's going down, therefore it produced a negative slope, right? Okay. Next page. what was different about this one?
There was only one.
There's only one number, and what was the number? The slope, right? So what does that tell you? What is the y-intercept?
0.
0. So you might have put in here, you could have put plus 0 if you really wanted to. So you could have, or you could have said that b equals 0. Because in the middle, what does it say for y'all? 4 is the slope, right? And then blank is the blank. So I would have said 4 is the slope or constant rate of change, and 0 is the y-intercept, starting point of 0, something like that. Okay. And next one, same thing here. You should have gotten the 0 was your y-intercept, and your slope was 2.5. Okay. You should be able to show it in every one. Okay. All right. Guys, do any of you guys have any other questions? We're now back in your own packet. Try that one on your own quickly. So you should have seen that 25 is your slope, 50 was the y-intercept. Okay. This one was easier on the table because it was just 25 over 1. Oh, you had to make your own table. My bad. Where do you get the table from? Like I made it, but where did I get those points?
From the graph.
Yeah, you could get it from the graph. That 0, 50, 1, 75. 2 is not on the graph, but if I apply that rate of change, then that's where I can get to. Okay. And so then what do these things mean? Just like last time. In the middle, what are you going to put? For each of these representations, blank is the blank, and blank is the blank. What are you going to put? 50 is the starting point or y-intercept, and 25 is the slope. Okay? Or constant rate of change. All right? Okay. On the next page, now you've just got some blanks here. So some things have been given to you and some things have not. Okay, so I wanted you guys to do this by yourself, but we're really running short on time now because of the fire drill. So let's remember how to do this. On the table, how do I get this value right here? Change in y. So that would be 4 to 2 is what? -2. Change in x would be from a -10 to a -5 would be what? +5. So then that makes my slope what? Ooh, are you sure? -2 over 5 or -0.4. Are those the same? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about the y-intercept from the table? Where do we look? Where x is 0. I don't have x is 0, but could I get there?
Yeah.
Sure. How can I do that? Well, to get here, what would I do? Or I could even come from this way. From here, it would be +5. Isn't that the same as what I've been doing? So now what am I going to do here? Another -2. So 2 minus 2 would be what? 0. So what is the y-intercept? 0. Okay. One final thing that you might do is take a point and plug it in and make sure that it works. What I mean is -4 equals -0.4 times 10, and see if that's true. Is -0.4 times 10, is that -4? Yes, and it works. That's how you know you got it right. Okay. So let's look at the next one. How do I find my slope from the graph? Pick a point, pick another point, doesn't matter. The rise is how much? Well, according to the ones I picked 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5. 2/5, which is 0.4. Okay, and then what about the y-intercept from a graph? It's just there. You can see it. What is it? 4. Okay, Okay. Each skill builder has a total of 40 questions. Write an equation that can be turned into used to determine y, the percent grade with X correct answers. What do you think?
Is it 40x plus 0?
40x plus 0? What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, because it's dividing. We're dividing it by 100. It's
Why? Why? Where did that come from?
it's a percent.
Right, because if your grade is normally a percent,
Yeah. Because
it's still plus 0, but it's 40 out of 100, right? And then there's one more. Guys, we're just about out of time, so I'd like for y'all to finish that one. And then the last page in the packet is your homework. Okay? Sorry about that and about the time. I didn't know we were having a drill.